fallout, smoke, women crying for their sons because their sons are not, Romans killing riotous groups that are rising up. Free Judea, free our people, autonomy for Israel. You had Herod, an Edomite, and his dynasty. Herod's ruling, killing any potential threat, any potential Messiah. Then you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees that we learn from Josephus are not Jews by birth. No.
Brothers and sisters, they are there. We are not lost. We are scattered. We are original Hebrew.
Let's go! All praises be to the Most High God. Yeah, I say it.
I was opportune to meet my grandparents, whom from childhood had always made us to understand that we are one of the lost tribes of Israel. Okay. So from my grandmother.
Right. Now look at these. Yeah, I'm telling you, I gotta show y'all. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Just look for yourself. And this is the creme de la creme. All praises be to the Most High, y'all. Everything we've been through, y'all, the Most High is going to retribute it on all the nations that have had a hand in the oppression of his apple, the apple of his eye, his chosen people, his beloved, his fervent lover, his only begotten. They're going to have their part in the lake of fire. You see them tormented by some kind of creature. I don't even know what that even is, y'all. Judgment in chains. He that led into captivity shall go into captivity. All praise to the Most High, y'all. What's up, Zion Dynasty? This is your favorite dreaded Israelite, the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. JB Zion. Y'all, show me some love, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Zion Dynasty, the Zion Dynasty family. All praises. So first, family, you already know what time it is. Your boy is back in the flesh, about to hit y'all with another banger. All glory, honor, dominion, power, majesty, world without end to the mighty one of Jacob, the redeemer of Israel, the resurrector of the dry bones of Ezekiel, the restorer of the greatest family to ever live on the earth, the 12 tribes of Israel. All glory, honor, and dominion to the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And welcome back to the channel, family. First, I gotta say peace, love, blessings, and Israelite power to each and every one of my Israelite kings and queens, my Israelite brothers and sisters. Y'all already know who y'all are. Y'all keep your boy doing this work. I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all mean everything to me. If I could, I'd go to each one of y'all house, just give all y'all a hug, man. We could not do this work without y'all, and I mean that. I'm telling y'all. And that's why we're doing the things we're doing with the giveaway and that kind of thing, just to show thanks to you all, because you all are what keeps this work going. Y'all keep me and Shani D uplifted, motivated, even though there are some folks that get on here just to say things that discourage this work. But I love each and every one of y'all. I love you, Israel, and I could not thank y'all enough. But not just y'all. Peace, love, and blessings to the overflow to all of the sojourners of Zion, all those Gentiles that are supporting this work, that are not lost in the goon squad sauce and the madness of the doctrine of Christianity. These urban apologists that get on here to troll, to say, that's just wrote it.
That's what the Israelite talking about. Well, you know, Israel don't know, whosoever will, let them come.
Hey, yo, y'all Israel now. Oh, y'all black folks, oh, y'all Jews, we was kings. Oh, y'all think y'all is Jews now, you Jewish?
And legalism and, these Israelites trying to turn us back to the law of Moses. And neither Jew nor Greek, world without end, that don't matter. Just talking about whosoever will call upon the name of Christ will be saved. For God so loved the world. Well, JB, we ain't saying he didn't came, we just saying he was rainbow. He came for all colors. Don't nobody really know what he looked like.
They saying, well, you can't use Deuteronomy 28.
Even though it says we're gonna go into a country as swift as the eagle flies.
Oh no, you can't use that.
Even though it says we're gonna have a yoke of iron around our neck, you can't use that. That's been fulfilled. Even though it says you're gonna go into slavery again on slave cargo ships, oh, that's already been fulfilled. And I'm like, Negro. And y'all, they think they're doing the Most High's will. That's the most dangerous part. A person that doesn't really know whose side they're fighting on, I'm telling you, even though they think they're doing God's will, you know,
y'all are race baiting, y'all, that stuff don't matter no more.
the Most High Yah, I can't say it enough, has not forgotten about his people. Every time you gotta put your sunglasses on to go outside and look at that sun in the sky. Every time you see the moon shining so bright in the night sky. Every time you see the stars and the waves roaring in the strength thereof, the Father has not forsaken his people. He has not replaced Israel with the church. I'm sorry, Christians. The Most High has a special place for his people, both now and forever. He changes not. We saw that in Malachi chapter 3 verse 1 or verse 6. We saw that in Malachi 2:16. The Most High hates divorce. There was a renewed covenant. We saw that in Jeremiah 31:31, Hebrews 8:8. Y'all know this is the channel where we got all the receipts, we got all the precepts, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Not just that. This is the channel, Zion Dynasty. Y'all already know. Well, we got Harvard scholars. We got Tudor Parfit, the professor. We got Oxford scholars, Edith Bruder. We got the archaeology, the old bones, my true ancestry, Jed Match, all of these things, 23andMe, to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called black, two continents slapped together like a loaning sandwich, are in fact the biblical descendants of the children of the Most High Yahweh. Even the 12 tribes of Yasharal, praises be to the Most High Yah, Yoruba and Ephraim of the tribe of Joseph. So family, we got a big one today. So before we get going, I'm gonna put that Cash App, that P.O. box up on the screen. If you guys wanna donate, y'all don't know how much that means to us. There's no way I can articulate how y'all support helps us be able to throw ourselves fully at this work, the research, the time, the effort, the energy, all the software, all of that stuff. I thank the Most High Yah first, and I thank each and every one of y'all, my Zion Dynasty family. So if you guys want to support, I'm gonna put that up and we're gonna jump into it. So in the last video, family, we talked about the Matrix, and if y'all haven't seen that video, that breakdown, check that thing out. We went in detail. I showed you guys an IGN summary breakdown of the movie in case you hadn't seen the trilogy. When I tell y'all, The Matrix is one of those movies that fully breaks down our people and that hidden rebel rouser group of people that would fight against this system, the whole stay woke concept. I think Matrix might have started that, right? Where they're unplugged out of this system that puts their minds to sleep to use their bodies to fuel this empire. Now, these nations, the European Union, which is that last sunset of Edom, led by America, that last rulership, they are not going to shake hands with Christ. They got a space force. They got policies in place. They are going down with a fight. And y'all, when I seen this clip, it showed me a dreadful, I was like, I got to share this with the family, a dreadful image of what the nations are plotting. They said that if we can't have Zion destroyed, we're going to replace them. And we're going to use AI, artificial intelligence. Now, I know a lot of y'all might have seen I Am Robot and that kind of thing. Also, Blade Runner. Blade Runner on Netflix does a great job at dealing with the old model versus the new model. Basically, the old slaves, us, Negro, Israelites, versus the new slave. Babylon is plotting some technological robots and artificial intelligence, some stuff that is... It would blow our minds if we knew what Babylon is plotting to be able to extend their empire. They said we don't have to worry about paying these folks nothing. We don't have to worry about retirement benefits. We got robots that's going to do and extend our empire that we don't have to worry about giving our wealth to these Negroes. We're going to invest it into these robots and allow them to do the work that we don't have to worry about investing in the long term. So it pays for itself. So y'all, you got to understand how this country was built, right? First, I'm going to show you this clip, and then we're going to deal with it. We're going to deal with critical race theory a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys that America and the Gentile powers, for them to exist, for them to be at the top, our people have to be at the bottom, or there has to be a scapegoat. Now, I'm going to show y'all this clip, and y'all hang on to your seats. It's going to show you the plan of the New World Order, the plot of these European nations, what they're trying to do. Let's check that out. So family, I'm telling y'all, I had to show y'all that to get that out the way. Go ahead and let y'all see what we finna deal with. These nations, Babylon, the beast that we talked about, the second beast, the second Roman Empire, the revived Renaissance Roman Empire, which will be the last empire to rule before Yeshua, which is America, the whore Babylon. Y'all check that series out, that video out where we talked about it. The European 10 founding market companies of NATO are also a part of this agenda. They get their money from the dragon, they get their power from the dragon, which symbolizes Satan, the spirit of Satan, but not just the spiritual demon Satan, not just that fallen entity, but also his chief family. He has a royal Edomite family we talked about in the Rothschild series. So the Rothschild, this synagogue of Satan that controlling the weather and levying the price of gold and levying the price of money and telling countries when they're going to print money through their central banking system that we talked about. Amschel Meyer Rothschild, whose name was Bauer, he changed it to the Red Shield, going back to Edom. Now y'all, we showed so many documentation about Esau being the father of the Roman Empire, the Roman people. I showed y'all in the book of Jasher how Zepho, the grandson of Esau, went to Chittim, went to that area of Rome, conquered it, defended them against King Angeus of Africa, and established his kingdom throughout Tubal, throughout Greece, throughout Europe, and became the historical Zeus. Now we read that. Not just that, we looked at the classical baby names book that talked about Esau being the forefather of the Roman Empire. We went into the legend of the Jews that also talks about this. I bring all of this up because Rome, Esau, this European kingdom, would be the last ruling empire. We saw that in 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. That for Esau is the end of the world, the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age, the world, the rulership of the next world. That's us, y'all. We got next. Yerubal B'nai Ephraim of the tribe of Joseph. We got next, family. The 12 tribes of Israel has next. But what we saw in the legend of the Jews is that these two empires cannot exist at the same time. Hence the critical race theory. Now, I know I've mentioned that a lot, y'all, but I never really went into the 1619 project. This is where the critical race theory concept comes from. I forget the young lady's name, Nicole Hannah Jones. Trump and white supremacy fear this book so much that they have this curriculum banned in certain states. I think Texas is one of them, y'all. Now, what this book does and what the critical race theory argues is that there's always a scapegoat in the European Gentile rulership. This is biblical. Now, we saw in the legend of the Jews that it was prophesied to Rebekah that she would give birth to two worlds that the whole earth couldn't fathom, right? The whole earth couldn't contain these two nations that would fight, that would clash to the end of time. One would be Solomon, the builder of the temple, right? One lineage, Jacob, would give birth to Solomon that would raise up the temple of the Most High, the Creator, and rule the earth based on Torah, based on family, right? Based on if Big Mama had Kool-Aid and Aunt Sally had sugar, the whole community would drink a glass. Then you had another mindset
which is Roma, which is Vespasian, who would destroy the temple. His people would rule the world through a haves and a have-not system of critical race theory-based society, right? Where you have a people at the bottom, you have concepts like race and privilege. This was introduced by the European rulership, going really all the way back to the Greco-Roman era, dating to 300 BC with Alexander the Greek, where he Hellenized the world like Babylon, unified everybody, and then said that our people are on top. We're going to subjugate all these different provinces like the Ptolemaic dynasty in Africa. Then you had Seleucus, Antiochus, and all these different generals that conquered different tribes of people and made them adjust to the Greeks, to the white folks. Y'all, we're going to deal with it. So the critical race theory is this: that whenever an attempt is made for our people to go mainstream into American society and obtain equal rights, that it's almost like physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Nature abhors a vacuum. So the critical race theory is the science behind nature abhorring a vacuum. Let me give y'all an example. Basically, if you give our people the right to live in white neighborhoods, let's just say that. Now there's not discrimination, you know, they're not having our people on a poor side of town in the projects. Now we can live with Becky and Sally on the other side, right? We can move it on up, good times kind of thing, right? But when that happens, a negative occurs to reinforce the same divide. That is things like redlining, gentrification. We get into these neighborhoods, but we're still treated differently. White flight is a byproduct. Then white folks say, well, we're leaving here. We're going to another side of town. So they create another suburban environment, right? Which is defeating the very purpose of integrating our people. Now, this goes back to the Bible. Our people were never meant to mix in with Babylon. That's why the Father had, y'all gotta understand, the Most High is controlling this narrative, right? Our people were meant to be what, Zion? A holy, set apart people. This goes back to Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. The Most High don't even like mixture in your garment. He separated the children of men based on nations. Our people don't think like that. Oh, God is not like that. He loves everybody. That's not biblical. You cannot show me a scripture to say the Most High loves everybody, but I can show you a scripture in Romans 9:13 that for Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Most High has never been about equality. This is a Babylonian, Greco-Roman mindset used to conquer. They don't use democracy and integration to help our people. They use that to create a subgroup of humanity that they can exploit. How do I know that? Let's go back to that other parallel, that example that I was talking about. So white flight also occurs when they integrate our people into predominantly white neighborhoods. Y'all, we have lived this. Me and Shawnee D have seen this. Then the neighborhood we live in now, right when we came in, I seen like 4 or 5 different for sale signs. So this ain't something I'm just making up. I know this, right? So, but this was all a part of the Most High's design to keep his people separate. But not just that. Then you have these realtors that come and exploit the black owners. Now you see this through the movie Them, and I'm gonna do a breakdown on that, right? And y'all, as I was watching the first episode, I saw this. So they were causing the interest rates, the loan approval, all of that was higher for black families moving into these white neighborhoods. So they were making money off of them, and white folks was turning around trying to leave up out of that thing. So now you're making money off of the people, exploiting our people financially, which keeps us at the bottom. So we thought we were moving up, we get into these neighborhoods, we get into this supposed free, integrated kumbaya scenario, and still end up getting exploited, and then white folks still go to another neighborhood. This is critical race theory. It says that whenever there has been an attempt for the advancement of unity of our people, assimilating and going mainstream into American society, it's almost like physics. There has been an equal and negative response that keeps the divide going. This is what built this country. And the 1619 Project, I know this is a lot of history, y'all. Y'all take notes. The 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah-Jones. It's a good read, y'all. She delves into this to show that slavery is the infrastructure of this country. Now I'm setting this up with that clip y'all saw about them robots. There has always been a scapegoat. There has always been a slave class.
That's why white folks are saying, okay, if these Negroes ain't gonna be it, we're gonna create it. This is where artificial intelligence comes in, which is gonna betray all of humanity. They don't understand. The deliverance of the black man is the salvation of the earth. Oh my, Yoruba, I'm trying to tell y'all. This is bigger than just our families, Zion. There are Gentiles that support this movement because they recognize that the form of government that the Most High, through his son Yahusha, through his people Israel, is family. That's why the Most High set apart different nations so that all of humanity could treat each other after a family concept. They know how to unite at the micro and they interact with other micros, right? Let me explain it. Our people, if we come together, unify, have our own land, and we learn how to treat each other and to defend each other as a family, we see other nations, right? And that motivates us to say, now look at these other nations now. We are a nation, we are a family, right? So the whole separation of the families of the earth by families keeps them close together, and despite what y'all might think, causes them to interact better than if you assimilate them. I understand, because then in the assimilation scenario, you're still gonna have that tension of one people trying to exercise dominion over the other. That's why the Most High said, I'm gonna set apart all people. I'm gonna have my chosen family, and everybody's gonna know this is my people because I'm gonna fight for my people, right? And they're gonna learn unity, and they're gonna be able to be an example to all families of how to live. This is why assimilation, I'm telling y'all, and this is where Dr. King, and I know I'm not gonna bash the brother too bad because I believe in unity, y'all. And I saw a brother comment and said, brother, we love the way you just love on the community. I do not believe in Israelites beefing over the dumbest stuff. Us as a community have not learned it yet. Unity is the answer. Yeah, we have some discrepancies in terms of doctrine and ideology. Is it big enough to disenfranchise the whole nation? God forbid. The Most High, Yah forbid, right? There are Israelites that get on here and say, well, you're not saying the Most High's name. I've heard you say Jesus. I've heard you say Jesus. That's why we in captivity, family. I'm trying to tell y'all. Whenever you saw Israel divided, that's when they were exploited by the other nations. So back to the critical race theory. This critical race theory needs an out. They need a slave class. They need a people that are the worker bees that are working 9 to 5s and doing 90% of the work for less than 1% of the pay. Y'all better talk to me. And it tends to be our people. But now that the world is starting to look at the black predicament, the Israelite predicament, now America has to create another way. The European nations have to find another way. The nations of the earth have to find a scapegoat. And this is where these robots coming in. Now, y'all, we looked at the Matrix and we saw that they were put to sleep, all of humanity. And their minds were in this simulation called the Matrix. That was not real, but they were born into it. We connected that with Christianity. I saw a brother comment, he said, JB, I think Jesus Christ is Satan himself. Bingo, absolutely. A lot of y'all like, what? I'm not talking about Yahusha. I'm not talking about the historical Messiah. But Jesus Christ, understand, family, that kickback that came in your mind is the Matrix. This is why. Jesus Christ never existed in history. Understand, the name Jesus is Greek. I do agree with you, family. I know his name Yahushua or Yahushua or Yahusha, right? I know that. But for my family that are coming into this channel that do not know that, we cannot chase them off the block when you're trying to scale and skin fish without catching them. That's not wisdom, right? Because our people have been born into this Christian umbrella that is not real. It's half-truths mixed with half-lies, which is a whole lie. Understand, we saw that in the last video with the Matrix, that when you take a little leaven, it leavens the whole lump. So that tree, we're gonna deal with it, the tree that Adam and Eve ate of, that said the tree of knowledge of good and evil, made the whole tree evil. And we saw this in the book of Matthew chapter 7, where Yahushua says that a good tree cannot have evil fruit. So a tree that gives you knowledge of evil, right, is actually an evil tree. So when you have falsehood like Jesus Christ, that's an entire falsehood concept. The man never lived. Yahusha, the black Negro Judean, actually lived. They took him and made him a Christian. Christ was not a Christian, y'all. He was a Judean, right? He kept Torah. He kept the Feast of Dedication. He would have had his beard and his locks. His arms and his face and his skin was the color of polished brass. This is historical and not no olive that y'all trying to feed me. The brother would have looked like this or a darker chocolate. That's what Yahusha historically looked like. Well, why does that matter, JB? Because truth matters, right? Any spirit, I'm gonna deal with this. Any spirit that denies the way the Father chose to send his Son into the earth is the Antichrist. So Jesus Christ, by textbook definition, is the Antichrist because he's opposed to the historical Yahusha. And y'all can go to the bank with the thing. So the nations have been birthing people into this matrix mindset of falsehood while they're using their bodies to fuel the beast. Now we see this in the matrix, that this machine empire is ruling and these bodies are about to sleep and their minds are in this delusion. The nations are doing it today with Christianity. I'm telling y'all, Roman westernized Christianity is the mark of the beast, is the synagogue of Satan, is the false prophet that deceives the nations into worshiping America and worshiping, whoa, America's a God-fearing country. This is a great world we live in. Any other Muslims or these Israelites are hate groups. They're sects, they're terrorists, they're all these things, right? That's the deception. I'm telling y'all, the nations have people thinking that they're doing God's will by saying, stand for America, stand for a God-fearing nation, a Christian country. That's deception. So I bring that up, that now that our people are waking up, Babylon has to do something. And that's why they're raising up these AI robots to replace the slaves that are becoming free. Babylon says that we're going to make something in our own image. Now I'm going to show y'all about ancient Babylon by going through the history again to show y'all that ancient Babylon had a similar mindset of reaching heaven. They wanted to be like the Most High. This is where you get into modern medicine. This is where you get into white people creating artificial robots in their image. Y'all gotta understand, not just that, but they're even farming organs, y'all. They're doing stuff that they're trying to defy heaven itself. This is a Babylonian spirit that was going on all the way back to Genesis chapter 11. So family, if y'all have any other ideas, any topics that you want us to cover, y'all drop that in the comments. I have the Them series going. I'm taking all my notes, going through every episode again, just to make sure that breakdown is thorough. So with that family, I love you all with the love of the Mashiach. I pray peace, love, blessings, empowerment, the spirit of boldness, confidence, consistency, not wavering over each and every one of you. Each and every one of my Zion Dynasty kings and queens, the Zion Dynasty brothers and sisters, my Israelite family, I love you all. We cannot do this without y'all. So with that family, peace, love, and blessings. I love you all. Shalom. All praises.